Hey guys, Seb here from Autoworld, and today I'm going to try and attempt to answer a question that we actually get asked quite a lot. How does the Isuzu Mu-X, what I'm driving at the moment, compare to the likes of the Toyota Fortuner? I know what you're thinking, this is going to be a slightly biased review, naturally. However, having said that, I have actually driven the Toyota Fortuner a few times. And it's a pretty decent car. It's very comfortable, it looks good. So, between the two, the Fortuner and the Mu-X, they're very similar in what their capabilities are. And they compete directly against each other within the same class. They're both 4x2 and 4x4, so they both perform well on and off the road. They're both about the same size, they've got very similar engine sizes, and they both offer 7 seats. However, in my opinion, the Isuzu Mu-X does offer a few features that just give it the edge. For example, the Isuzu Mu-X is slightly wider and slightly longer than the Fortuner. Now on paper, it's very marginal, but when you sit inside the vehicle, it actually makes a big difference. And when I've sat inside a Fortuner, despite how comfortable it is and it's got a nice interior, it does feel a little bit narrow. Whereas the Isuzu Mu-X, because it's slightly wider, it does make you just feel a little bit more comfortable when you sit in here. Another interesting difference is the ground clearance. So the ground clearance on the Fortuner is 216 millimeters, 216, whereas the ground clearance on this Mu-X is 230 millimeters. So it does give you that extra ground clearance when you are taking this car off the beaten track. Another interesting difference is the size of the boot. So if you know the Isuzu Mu-X, you'll know that the rear seats, so that final third row of seats that makes it a 7-seater, when they're down, they are flat, which does give you more boot space. So in the Fortuner, I think the boot space is just under 300 liters. I think it's 296 liters, whereas in this car, you get 311 liters of boot space, which again on paper doesn't seem like a lot. But when you're loading up the back of the car for a long road trip, an extra 15-20 liters makes a big difference. One thing that the Fortuner does seem to have the edge over us is the power output. So the high-spec Fortuner, which comes with your 2.8-liter GD6 engine, is rated at 150 kilowatts. Whereas this 3-liter that we get in the Mu-X as well as the D-Max is rated at 140 kilowatts. However, I have a sneaky suspicion that Isuzu, when they state those statistics, that they're actually stating them quite conservatively. But look, at the end of the day, whether you've got 140 kilowatts or 150 kilowatts, there's plenty of power there. There are a few added features of this particular Mu-X that are pretty cool as well. So this new Mu-X is the facelifted version. It's very similar to the previous version that's come out, but there are a few subtle changes. From the outside, the grille is a slightly darker shade of grey. The rear taillights have been blacked out a little bit. So from the outside, I suppose it does look a little bit more aggressive. From the inside, it's very similar, but they've added a few pretty cool features. They've added paddle shifts on the side of the steering wheel, so if you feel like being a boy racer or a girl racer for the day, you can use those to change gears. That's available on the LSE specs and higher. Another cool thing you get on this car, which is perhaps a bit of a novelty, is the remote engine start, which means you can essentially start your car from, well, outside your car. So if your car is within a close vicinity of your bedroom, you could be tucked away under your duvet, having your cup of coffee and warm your car up, so that when you get into it on the way to work, it's nice and toasty for you. Another cool feature is the smart tailgate. Now the Mu-X, this model has always come with a power tailgate, where if you push the button, the tailgate will lift, and push another button, it'll drop. Now, as long as you've got the key on you, and let's say you're carrying a lot of shopping or a couple suitcases towards the back of the car, and you don't want to put them down, you can step towards the car, take a small step back, and like I said, as long as you have the key on you, the tailgate will lift automatically by itself. And then you can load up your car and close it. So that's a pretty cool feature. So look, at the end of the day, I'm always going to choose Isuzu. But they're both very capable cars. It comes down to what brand you're loyal to, and what brand you prefer. But at the end of the day, Isuzu have come out with a fantastic SUV. It ticks all the boxes. It's so comfortable. It's great to look at. It's very powerful, and it is extremely capable off-road. Take it from me, I've taken an Mu-X off-road quite a few times. And it's a bit more affordable. So if you're keen on a new Mu-X, or any Isuzu for that matter, pop down and see us at the showroom in Chizzy, or send me a message and come for a test drive. Cheers, guys.